Do you have a preference which tea you like? Gosh, there's something.
Yeah, it's black tea.
Yeah.
I love it.
Tea. Okay, great. That's actually good because there's no caffeine too. Hi everyone, I'm Grace. I'm the current chair of CAPAC and so thrilled to have with us today our special guest, our Chair Emerita of CAPAC, Judy Chu. Chairwoman Chu, I think many people already know you as one of our staunchest advocates nationwide for our Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities from so many years as CAPAC Chair. But for those who might not already know you, can you tell us a little bit about any of your family traditions growing up? Like, did you have tea growing up in your family, and what were some of your favorite traditions?
Well, of course, I always enjoyed Chinese New Year because we would have a nice family meal with, of course, long noodles representing longevity. And we would go to the Chinese New Year parades in Los Angeles, Chinatown, which were always spectacular and would have the dragons and the lions. But of course, the thing we enjoyed the most were the red envelopes, which of course had a little bit of money in them and we could spend it on all kinds of wonderful things.
Yeah, love sharing those traditions. And yeah, one of the sad things about growing up is you don't get so many red envelopes anymore like when we were kids. But also, so as CAPAC's previous chair, as you were advancing the needs of our communities nationwide, one of the things that you focused on was expanding language access across our federal government. President Trump issued an executive order declaring English as the official language of the United States. Can you explain how this executive order allows federal agencies to actually discriminate against folks with limited English proficiency, and talk about some of our work as a caucus to push back against that?
So I come from a district that has so many immigrants, especially many from all parts of Asia. And in fact, they come to my district because they feel more comfortable there, because they know that there will be people speaking their languages. So it is essential for their survival to have these translated mailers and brochures and people that they can talk to in government and that are with the police and other essential agencies. In fact, the way that I got into politics was when there was an ugly English only movement in Monterey Park, California, where longtime residents resented the new ones and wanted English only on the signs in the city and only English books in the library. The last straw was when they wanted only English to be spoken in the city. So a multi-ethnic coalition of us got thousands of signatures and petitions and got it overturned. So I know how important it is to have translated materials, and our government has known for so many years, for 25 years since President Clinton, there was an executive order to make sure that every federal agency addressed the issues of limited English proficient people. And so it didn't matter whether it was a Republican administration or Democratic administration, this has been upheld all these years. But now President Trump has decided to make English the official language and then instructed his U.S. Attorney General to tell all the federal agencies to get rid of their translations. And as a result, already we have HUD, which had translated its materials in 222 languages, to get rid of all of it. And SBA, which, by the way, I got to translate all that COVID loan material, the PPP loans, into multiple languages. They just got rid of all their multilingual resources. And now the IRS is contemplating doing the exact same thing. I mean, if we want people to pay their taxes, then we should be able to provide the resources that they need to deal with these functions the best. And so think of it, I mean, how about disasters? Shouldn't we have disaster notifications done in different languages? And that's a very essential meaning of survival. And so, yes, we have to combat this. And I know, Congressmember Meng, you are introducing a bill to do exactly that. And in fact, to restore President Clinton's declarations. I've also got a bill that will establish a commission that will oversee the degree to which these translations are being done, so that there'll be an ongoing source of inspection as to whether translations are being done in our federal agencies. And anyway, I support your bill. I hope people will support my bill. We need to make sure that we reverse this terrible trend in our country, which was built on the backs of immigrants.
Yeah, it's really disheartening to see that our diversity in this country is being treated as something negative. And as people who work within the federal government, we want our government to be able to help more people, which means we need more of our constituents to be able to access federal government services. So this is, it is very disappointing, and just want to thank you for your longtime fight. And, we want to invite people to join us in supporting these bills, this push to restore access to our federal government, which is paid for by our taxpayers and our constituents. Speaking of changes bad changes by federal agencies, you've also been such a long-time healthcare champion for our communities. You've continuously worked to highlight health disparities. Health Secretary RFK Jr. recently made changes to the childhood vaccine schedule to no longer recommend the hepatitis vaccine for infants. As you know, 1 in 12 Asian Americans have been chronically affected with hepatitis B. So what does that mean for our community?
Well, I come from a community where everybody knows somebody who is living with hepatitis B. It used to be a death sentence. It used to turn into cirrhosis and many times into liver cancer. And in fact, I knew a person, Chimoy, who ran for city council of the San Gabriel. Then he was trying to donate blood and discovered that he had hepatitis B. And we saw him deteriorate until he was like skin and bones, and then he finally got to be mayor of the city of San Gabriel, but died a month later from the results of hepatitis B. So I know that hepatitis B is very, very serious for our communities. And yet now we have vaccinations, we have treatments that have extended the lives of people, but the vaccinations is really where it's at, because we can stop people from getting hepatitis B from birth. And so that's why it's so important to have these vaccinations. So when I saw that RFK took hepatitis B vaccinations off the list, I thought that is such a slap in the face to so many communities, but especially to the AANHPI community, where we are 7% of the population, but we're 60% of the hepatitis B cases in this country. So it is horrible, and to think of all the diseases that will be brought about because of the lack of vaccination, it is truly disgusting and horrendous.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all that, the testimonies and the statistics, and we're so grateful that our community has someone like Chairwoman Chu speaking out for so many underrepresented community members all across the country. And just thanks for joining us today, and let's keep up the fight to keep our communities safe and healthy.
Thank you.